95% of the time, if they build prior to knowing what the customer journey is going to be like, or even know like what they're providing, you build and have to change it anyway. So just do it messy, take messy action, figure it out, and then build the system. And I found works way better.
The next episode in the Incubator program is here. I'm joined by one of our hustlers in the program, Megan. She's always up to something. She's up to big things. So, Megan, thank you for joining me.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on the podcast.
I'm excited as well. We've heard some great testimonials from the program so far. Today's will be no different. I'm going to ask you, Megan, introduce yourself to our audience. Tell them what you do.
Of course. So I'm Megan Galane. I run the operations of Epic Network, which is a podcast network where we focus on connecting the conscious creator with the conscious listener. So all of our content is very growth, business, money, wealth building oriented. We don't have any drama, nothing like that on our network. So you can come on there and learn quite a bit from really qualified people. So that's what I do, all operations.
What got you into this field? Walk us through that.
So in operations, what got me into that field was initially I had built the backside of my family's company. So my family is a self-directed IRA company.
Okay.
I was hired there. I started as assistant, built my way up to actually chief visionary officer. And then after everything was kind of built and running and hired, I was like, what do I do? So I ended up getting really bored just because I didn't have much to do with new projects. And then about 3 years ago, I started my own company, which was just basically coming in and being a fractional COO/integrator. So we would actually come up with the strategy to build the operations plan and then implement it inside of service-based businesses, coaching, consulting businesses. And for the last 3 years, I've been doing that. And then how kind of becoming the COO of Epic came about and co-founder of Epic. I had a second business with my best friend, Jessica Hurley, and she has a podcast agency, so she actually builds podcasts from the ground up, launches them, and then we launch, of course, on autopilot. So we launch with about 60 to 20 episodes ready, so our creators don't have to be creative every week, because a lot of us can't be.
And it is very hard.
It is. So give your podcast host some slack there. So she has a podcast agency. I had my operations agency. We had another business, which was called Innovative Income. It was a women's business empowerment type of event. So we ended up stopping that and rolling everything into Epic to run the network. And then we actually ended up merging my operations project management team with her agency. And so we merged everything into now one company, which is Epic, so that we have the ability to scale with multiple streams of income within one house. So it's interesting, but it's fun.
I love how you combine strengths and weaknesses. You combine together, you brought together. That's something we always learn in entrepreneurship. Try to leverage your strengths, outsource your weaknesses. Now you're like this one-stop shop that can do so much more. Who would you say your ideal customer is, your ideal client?
So our ideal client on the creator side, so because we have a couple ideal clients. We have a creator side and then we have the listener side. So our creators who currently launch the podcast on our network, they are people who are experts in their field. So like we have DEI experts, leadership experts who speak within corporations, and our consult with large corporations. Made a name for themselves in that area. So so if you're an expert in your field, that's for the creator side. That side is, and even if you have your own podcast, we're actually starting to accept applications for people to bring their podcast onto our network. So any podcast that's within like the growth aspect, we're trying to figure out what that looks like. So that's where the stage we're at right now is adopting podcasts. And then for the creator side, and then for our listener side, all of our listeners who are looking for education, looking to grow, looking to expand your network outside of like the normal online guru. A lot of these people aren't huge online, to be completely honest. They've been really focused on becoming an expert in their field. So as the listener, you're looking for somebody who really knows their stuff and has been through the trenches,
Yeah.
not the guru side.
Yeah, you want to be able to provide lessons learned, and as a listener, make sure the value's there, make it a worth the use of your time. What are some recent rollouts you've had with the company? I know you mentioned you started separately, now we've combined. You're growing fast. You heard that. What are some things that you've been rolling out? What's some new things?
So the number one new thing is bringing on the creators who we didn't actually launch and create the podcast. So that just started this week. So
Wow, it's fresh.
and yeah, accepting it. Well, we haven't even posted applications. People have been pitching us.
It's not aired just yet, so by the time this airs, you'll be all locked and loaded.
People have been pitching us in our emails, and we're realizing it's time to figure that part of this business out. Yeah. So, we're building the systems now that people are pitching us for that.
And that's how it is too. Even with my second course that had to scale a podcast, I had that up before. Once I got the sale, then it was time to build. Yeah. So that's, don't beat yourself over the head trying to make everything perfect. Everyone thinking everything has to be ready to launch. That's not true.
Not at all. It's actually better not to, because then you don't, a lot of times, keep in mind, I build operations in a lot of 6 and 7 figure businesses.
Yeah.
And every single time, not every single time, I think 95% of the time, if they build prior to knowing what the customer journey is going to be like, or even know what they're providing, you build and have to change it anyway. So just do it messy, take messy action, figure it out, and then build the system. I've found works way better.
That's one thing in entrepreneurship. A lot of things don't go according to plan. You can plan a little bit and you can't even think of the adversity or the scenario that will come up. It's always something new, always something challenging, but that's what makes entrepreneurship so fun.
Oh, that's that alarm.
I'm on airplane mode, so...
Oh, that's why I'm on airplane mode.
I'm trying to get more authentic videos and things right now as we're recording this. We are this nationwide 2 p.m. alert. And you did tell me you have your alerts off.
My alerts are off, and my phone is on D&D. So now I'm really confused what's happening.
Somehow my phone, as we're recording, skated through this alert. We've learned all about her business, who her ideal client is, even what's next from her. Say there's someone out there who may not be ready for buying packages yet, buying services yet. What's one tip you can give somebody out there just to get started? Maybe whether it's making a strategy, just to organize their thoughts. You're the professional here. What's one of the first actions they can take to get on board?
Yeah, so the operations side, you can go to my Instagram. It's just my first and last name, Megan Galane. And the link in my bio actually shares whatever I have going on. So we have a starting your business from the ground up in a very organized way, or if you have an established business and you're looking to clean up some, this actually works for you too. It's called the SOS Foundations. There's actually a couple of people inside of our program in it. And that's how I found out about the Incubator, was because people from last year came through. Well, I worked with them one-on-one, but now I found out.
Yeah.
So, so that is a great way to start. It's really low ticket, low cost for you to get really organized. And I go over everything inside of what I do for people. You just do it yourself. So you get all the templates. See, we use ClickUp for all our project management side. And so you get all of our ClickUp templates. You get all of our scope of work templates. Basically everything we use inside the agency side to help people set up their business. And then I teach you how to build your own workflow. You have templates for that. Your own org chart, you have templates for that. Your roadmaps, your client experience, you have templates for that. I literally teach you everything that we have, and then you have a template for most things in that program. So that's what the one thing I would say.
Love it.
And that's more the operations side, right? So,
and that's on your website or your Instagram, you said?
Instagram, yeah. So it's on my website too. It's Megan Galane.
Plug yourself, your website, the company website.
Yes. So myself, Megan Galane. So I teach all operations. And then the company that I'm co-founder in is epic.co, EPYC.co, Evolve Past Your Consciousness. And between both of those, you'll find me. Or I'm on both of them, very obviously. So
yeah, he is very active on there.
Yeah, make sure to reach out. Let us know what you have going on. And then if you have any questions directly, you can also message me directly on Instagram. That's my best channel. People email me. Email's great. Instagram I'm just better at.
Emails get flooded.
It gets flooded, and our team doesn't work out of email system.
Oh, cool.
So we're just not in emails a lot. So every week to reach out to us is not an email.
I like how you offer the two options there, the do it yourself and then you guiding them. And that's something that I recently was meeting here, where some people may not want to be guided by you. They may want to just do it by themselves. So I think it's really a great message from her right now, remind you that you don't want to just focus on what type of consumer, what they may like. You should offer multiple ways. I want to backtrack, though, a bit to you're building this community.
Yeah.
Are you going to cap the number of people in this community? Are you going to make it...
Inside of Epic?
Yeah.
No. We're not capping it.
No, maybe I'm missing the new edition you're now starting to roll out.
So with the podcast network, I'll explain this. It's a very new concept.
Yeah.
It's very new, and a lot of the people that we've actually tried to connect with to ask for mentorship, they didn't understand it either. So we have the vision. We know where it's going. We've not seen it, but we get a gist, so it's easier for us to visually think about. So what a podcast network is, so we do not own any podcasts. So think of Netflix. Netflix has shows that they don't own, that they're leasing.
Yeah.
And then they have Netflix specials or Netflix series.
Right.
So those are shows that Netflix owned, produced, and they're probably not going to end up on another platform. And if they do, then Netflix will get a leasing fee.
Yeah.
So what we do on our podcast network is we do not own any of the content at this point. So we lease it from our clients. We lease it. Eventually, we'll open it up to people who are our clients. And we're going to lease the content. But instead of paying you a set fee, we actually are able to put ads on your content. So we sell ad space on your content, and then you get a percentage based off of
That's awesome.
whatever our agreement is. And so that is basically what we are. So think of Epic as a Netflix, where Netflix started and they just leased a whole bunch of content until they were able to make the numbers make sense to own their own content. And now they've done production studio, everything like that. We just happen to work backwards. We had the whole production setup.
That's okay.
Yeah, so we had the whole production setup. People pay for that production, and then we lease the content from them. Essentially, that's kind of how...
I really appreciate you being thorough, and I'm glad I didn't understand at first, because now you just explained it so well, and everyone out there, be on the lookout for this. This is revolutionary. This is new, and they're going to be one of the only people obviously offering that. One more time, social, website, all that stuff for everyone out here. Is at Lowth.
Epic.co, EPYC.co is where you're going to find all of the podcast content, all of our educational content, and then anything operations is makinggalane.com.
Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for coming on the show. Another Incubator testimonial. We still have a few more to go, and be sure to check out the show on all social media at That Entrepreneur Show. If you're listening in today, head to YouTube on the podcast, That Entrepreneur Show, under Vincent A. Lanci's page. We will have the videos up there from all these Incubator specials. And with that, we are signing off, both of us here in the Lowth Center. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. It was great having you. I've been bringing on here.